We're live. We got our coffee. We're brewing some, but this is leftover from last night. I decided to heat it up. And while I wait for the coffee pot to do its thing, as you can see, I'm in the semi. And yeah. You know, I got these GoPros sitting right here, right? And really haven't done much. I did take some footage of a delivery or a pickup that I do on the regular, and I need to download a new program that allows me to do picture-in-picture, like, you know, kind of like what Indiana Jack did. Ratman does this too. He's going down the road, showing what he's looking at while he's talking to you, and he's got a camera facing him, right? But my camera would be one on the dash and one mounted on the mirror. I think that would look pretty cool. But I'm not that fancy, so my laptop has seen better days, so to put a new program on it, I'm kind of afraid what that will do. I have thought about buying a new laptop specifically for video editing, but I don't know, we haven't made that commitment yet. But anyways, I hope you're having a good morning. If you see a sunrise, if you see the morning, that is a blessing, that is a gift, because not everybody got that this morning. I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, which for me turns into a 4-day holiday. But this year it turned into a 2-week deal. So there's a pawn shop across the street. I might go check it out, because I just got done with my delivery, and I don't pick up till 4, but I deliver tonight, so it's straight through. So that's what I like about these loads. So I start on Monday and I end Tuesday night with 2 loads, so it's like a load a day. So it comes out to a pretty good average. Because sometimes, you know, when you're doing 4 or 5 day weeks, you actually only get 4 loads in, unless you're working Saturday. But I might be stretching my legs a little bit this week, depending on what my calendar looks like, because we need to make up for lost time, because I did take a week off that I did not expect. And, you know, we got to run while the truck can and while the market's good. So that's kind of what's going on. Let's get this video up here so I don't squint at the camera. And let's see. And we'll do our shout outs. This down. We got Stuart Warby, what's up? VTech 2008. Scott SRO Logistics, Desert Okie Pam, morning. Big Houston, TM, good morning. Thor and Thunder Trucking, morning, Snorelord and all. Tennessee is beautiful right now. I'll be dropping a video with Cade's Cove later. I've always wanted to check out that area of Black Rock, you know, where the rest area is on 24. There's some campgrounds in there. I would love to just hang out there, like early fall, maybe late spring. I think that'd be a perfect spot to hang out. TM, how did the hunting trip go? Mike Tucker, what's up? The hunting trip went very well. I'll get into that here in a minute. Good morning, sir. Hello, YouTube. It's your favorite American trucker checking in from home. Sleepy time, says Dying Breed. Describe, what's up? See, Jose, sorry I missed you. Shadow Wolf, good morning. You got the Christmas trees going. It is that time of year. So, it is a beautiful morning here in downtown, where am I? I'm in Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm in downtown Las Vegas. The hunting trip. So I was able to harvest a buck and a doe. Got in the tree, took the first shot. She went down immediately, but I couldn't tell if I had just wounded, if it was a fatal wound or not. So I shot again, and then she sprung up and ran off. I'm like, okay. So I tried to watch where she might fall, because obviously I hit her. She went down on her knees the first time. And then when you have a bunch of does, which there was like 4 or 5 of them out there, a buck is sure to follow. And sure enough, this 8-point starts like, hey man, what's going on? Blam, got him out too. And I thought he ran off. What's funny is, looking through the scope, and I'm still new at this, so I'm like, flinching and everything, when I shoot. And so I saw that he ran that way from the scope. Like, ran into the woods, right? And so I texted my friend, and he came down, and we looked he found the buck. What he had done is he ran into the woods, but circled, and he must have circled when I brought up the rifle and cleared it and all that. And then the doe took a little bit longer to find, but she had dropped pretty close. I was just off of where, when she ran after the second shot, I just was under guessing where she had finally landed. But anyways, we did pretty good. So I'm spoiled now. My second hunting trip ever, and I get 2 deer. So, and everybody said, "Oh man, now every hunting trip's going to be a disaster, because if a deer's not out there in 5 minutes, you're going to be all impatient." And it's kind of like that with fishing too, right? You go to the lake, and first time you take someone fishing, fish are jumping practically in the boat, and then when they go fishing by themselves, they're like nothing for 3 days, and it was kind of like that. So, but it was a good time. Did the venison taste good? Dutch, it has not been processed yet. So in the county that we were in, you have to take it to a station to test for chronic wasting disease. And so we took it to the processors. First we took the deer to a refrigerator, and then we took it to the processors on Monday near my house. And they have to wait for those test results to come in before they can process it. So I don't expect to see the deer meat until the end of December, early January. So my cabin is on a suicidal 1-lane steep grade road. Awesome. Be very careful. Pneumatic Brit being loaded with 3,000 gallons of acid here in Chattanooga. Great, don't wreck. Pale Rider TV, I saw your video last night. Guys, you need to go to Pale Rider's video of him giving his update on his truck yesterday. There's a surprise in the video. I won't give it away, but there's a nice surprise in the video that makes you go, whoa! And I'm glad Pale Rider didn't hurt himself, So, or did you? Pale Rider, did you hurt yourself with that stunt? Now everybody's going to be like, I'm leaving this live feed. I'm going to go check out Pale Rider's video. You need a dog to help track down the hard-to-find deer. Is that dangerous? No, it's not. They're just trying to control it within the population now. The deer looked healthy. The doe was fat. The buck was very healthy. So, I don't think they've even had a case. They're just keeping an eye on certain counties. Really enjoy your YouTube. There's not a lot of drama on your channel. Charles, I try to stay away from that stuff because that's other people's doings. I want social media to be less toxic, and dwelling on other people and what they're doing and what their personal lives are and what their business moves are and everything is toxic to me. That's just me, though. I mean, I get it. The soap opera aspect is pretty fun. At one point, I did tune into I-15 Rage's video, and he was complimenting DIY Semi, which was great. That was good. That's the right way to do it. But and I enjoy DIY's channel. He's very informative, straight to the fact, no frills. He emailed me and said that he enjoyed my channel, so I got the respect of someone that I respect, and that's pretty cool. So, oh no, Mr. Bill, what's up? So, but I've had my share of it. I've been involved in a couple of things, unknowingly and unwillingly, but we got out of it. So, I'm a live and let live person. You do you, and I'll do me, and we'll live together happily. Isn't that a Carbolicious Coke commercial or something like that? But anyways, I don't know what kind of week we're gonna have. Rates seem to be pretty good right now, and I'm actually getting on the DAP board and book some loads that way instead of doing my usual stuff to capitalize on this, because I anticipate, let's look at our calendar. I don't have anything for December. Normally my eye doctor's in December, but next year it's in January, so I've got a free schedule, so I might just hustle till about the 20th and then go home for a while. Christmas is on a Saturday, so that's kind of nice. When Christmas is on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, it makes it easier to book loads around that. Especially a Saturday, because what they'll do is they'll take the federal day off on Friday, and then Monday just becomes a normal Monday. But there's a lot of places that close in the week, and I'll get into some videos about how to deal with Christmas rate when booking your own loads on between Christmas and New Year's. Some strategies that have worked for me in the past. I tend to work over New Year's, and my birthday's like shortly after that. I tend to work through those days. The week between Christmas and New Year's is awesome to drive a truck because hardly anybody's out, so the truck stops are easy to park at. There's no lines for showers, things of that nature. So, but we'll get into that. But so more than likely I'll stay out. So I forgot my glass dish for my Hot Logic Mini, and I brought a bunch of meat for me from the house. So I might have to stop by the house real quick, or either that or have one of the youths or my wife bring me that glass dish. Charles, I agree. Well, it's the name, right? It's the name. So for some reason, people expect perfection from a name. And I think that people give YouTubers too much credit. Like, we all know what we're doing because we're brave enough to be in front of the camera and tell you what we're doing. And what you don't realize is that not all of us are telling you exactly what we're all doing, honestly. So there's that too. This guy out been on Florida to California. They took it for $3,300. That's, yeah, Jose, I'm not all about that. That's, looking at what's up. Did you see that ad for a 22 Volvo 860 for $285? It was from TC Boggs. Yeah, the Trucker's Table posted that same Volvo. Now, I have a friend who just bought 2 Volvos from his lease place for his company, and they weren't quite that high. So what you're seeing is there's definitely an increase in the market price, but there's also price gouging going on. And so all these companies that are trying to charge, $100,000 for an 800,000 mile truck, or charging 100,000 extra versus on the new truck, because that same truck was 185 literally 6 months ago. So that price gouging is, and all they're doing is hurting themselves, because what they're going to do is they're only, these dealerships only like to cater to the big companies. They want Prime or Schneider to come in and buy 50 trucks at a time. They're not interested in single guys like me that are going to put their life's blood into one truck, because they make more money that way, right? They make more money on volume versus quality. And these companies that price gouge, make a mental note, because when the market drops, and it will drop, you got to remember, a year and a half ago, these people couldn't sell a truck to save their lives. The last time GATS was running, there was hardly any manufacturers there, because sales of new trucks had dropped like 60%, something like that. It was crazy. And I could have gotten the same brand new Volvo, not a Globetrotter, but close to it, for $145 back when stuff was $1.20 a mile on the DAT board. And it's that pendulum swinging, and you want to catch it when it's in the middle, or when it's at the lowest, and it's crazy, and all they're going to do is price single loan operators out of the business. That's not the America that I grew up thinking that I knew. So I would like your guys' opinion. I'm 58, retired, thinking about buying a truck and just run Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas. Do you think that's a good idea? Charles, here are the challenges. I'm not going to tell you if it's a good idea or a bad idea. I'm just going to tell you the challenges of that. Do you still have your CDL? That's question one. If you do buy a truck, it could be difficult to get a loan if you don't have any experience, and your insurance is going to be through the roof. Right now, equipment prices are through the roof. And just to run those 3 states, the rates tend to be lower. Running those 3 states, you do have your CDL. Good. That's half the battle there. If you wanted to buy a truck and work for a small carrier like Trucking, and a couple others that I can mention, a couple of them are in this chat. You work for a spot market company, you can literally just run those 3 states. I pretty much run 3 states, right? Sorry, I thought I muted my phone here. I did. That was this phone. And that would be the way to go, because then you wouldn't have to get your own authority. Because getting your own authority would be expensive with the insurance, since you don't have recent experience, right? And you might have some trouble without recent experience of getting on with somebody. So you definitely have some challenges ahead of you. Now, if you go straight to your own authority and you want to afford the insurance, you could easily do that. But just know that the rates are going to be lower in those 3 states. There's plenty of freight. It could be done, and you'll have to get Texas Interstate to really make that work, to make the money work. But will the costs and the headache be worth it to you? So that's just my opinion. So you make your decision based off of those, and do a little bit more research. I'm at home with allergic reaction to some chemical or metal. They stuck a lot of stickers on my back. Wow, okay, Dutch. Sorry to hear that. The company I work for does not go to a dealer. They go directly to the manufacturer and lease. They never buy anything. Dutch, there's a lot of companies that do that. The company I used to work for does that. They lease directly from the customer. The dealer is only the middleman to take delivery. And then after those trucks are done at 400, 500,000 miles, they give them, the dealership takes possession of them, and then they sell them. Leasing is a powerful tool in the sense of not investing in the equipment. Because let's say you own a company and you want to buy 20 trucks. Well, that's a lot of money to invest. That's a lot of capital that you have to have. Whereas if you lease them, which you're going to turn them in anyways, unless you're one of these companies that's going to run the truck till it's out in the field full of rust, leasing is the way to go if you're going to turn it in every 3 or 4 years anyways. And so leasing, like especially full maintenance leases, utilize the warranty and utilize, and then at the end of the day, if you got to give up all 20 trucks, you're not trying to sell 20 trucks and trying to make your money back. You're done. You're over it. So, Shannon, what's up? Truck for Life, good morning. Drive part-time, maybe one load to Memphis, Tennessee, or one load to Midland per week right now. Well, that's good. So that shows you have recent experience. So that's good. I would like to only run about 1,800 miles to 2,000 miles per week. That is easy to do. I wish Landstar would have more freight going to Wisconsin. Yeah. I don't think I ever went up there for Landstar. My main Wisconsin stuff was, well, no, I went up there a few times. You got a few Walmarts and Targets up there. You got Menominee. You got water that Chippewa Falls. I know a lot of pallets going in and out of the area. Truck for Life, you ought to use, there's a friend of mine that's friends with Triple T. You probably know who I'm talking about. He drives a blue Volvo, and I didn't want to mention his name because I don't know if he wants his name mentioned, if he even watches me anymore. But he's got an agent that gets on the DAT board and finds stuff. And as long as, like, Sage Robinson, TQL, Convoy, Uber, any of those companies have loads that go up there, any big brokerages that Landstar can work with, you can book those loads. So the problem I think is I have only about 20,000 to save up to work with. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a challenge with the equipment prices. And since you haven't owned a business in a while or ever, you won't be able to get onto a full maintenance lease. So you're kind of in a weird position now. You can buy a beater if you can work on it yourself. But again, work on your own authority and all that, or find a company that will take an older truck. But that's kind of conundrum. If you've got credit, that will help too. So I need to get home for my license renew, and I live in Wisconsin. Trucker for Life, if you have an agent over at Landstar that you work with, if they can get on the DAP board and find something for you, that would be your best bet. Find a broker that will work with Landstar and then co-broker it. 861, excellent, good deal. They're still going to want 10% down for the price of the truck. Now, 2 years ago, $60,000 got you a 300,000 mile truck. So you can put 10 down. Your payments would be about $1,500, $1,600 a month for 4 years, and you'd be good to go. And then find a company that has trailers and that you can choose your own freight. And then there's a lot of the Amazon stuff. So if you have your own authority, you might be able to get on the Amazon Power Relay and run that stuff. I might know an option for you, Charles, that might allow, well, no, I don't know if that would work or not either. I don't know. You're looking to purchase a truck about 400,000 miles. Right now, those trucks are going for $90,000, which is ridiculous. So wait till the market drops, Charles. Wait till the market drops, because if trucks are, let's say trucks are 80,000 now for, you know, a 400,000 mile truck, maybe in 2 months they'll be 60 grand. That saves you 20 grand right there. So the lower your costs, the more leisurely you can run. That's how it works. Chucky, I hope you're getting the feeling better. How's the social media fasting doing? I don't officially start the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram thing until tomorrow. So I'm trying to wean myself off a little bit. I am checking the responses to the 2 posts that I made. But beyond that, it'll be good. It'll be interesting. Our coffee is done. Been sitting here drinking stale coffee. Didn't have to be. That there. Doink. I could have just walked across the street and got coffee from the convenience store, but it's like playing Frogger crossing this road here, so. I talked to my daughter. She deleted TikTok, so there's step one. Excellent, truck driver. So there's definitely a toxicity to that, because what it does is, like, if you remember the old days, excuse me, if you remember the old days, remember these magazines? I mean, they still have them, but they're not as prominent. But, like, you know, you had Cosmo and these teenager magazines, and, you know, that they were geared for preteens and teenage girls, you know, and it gave, you know, you had this epidemic of eating disorders, because girls were trying to look like the women that they saw in the magazines, not realizing that a lot of that was airbrushed and all that. It gave them these false expectations. And what social media does is it's that on steroids, right? And you don't realize it. You know, you see these people, like, you know, when I watched Reels, which is the same as TikTok, you know, you have just brainless clips of narcissists staring at themselves, right? You know, doing little cute dances. Maybe there might be a text, you know, on being provocative, or, you know, I like this, you know, when asked about this, and all it is like, hey, look at me, look how cute I am, or look how awesome I am, look how good my makeup is. And these kids come out without any coping skills, and they literally are expecting perfection right out of the bat. No one knows how to get their first job that they know they have to suffer a little bit for, right? You don't get your dream job out of the nest there. And so these false expectations, and then you get addicted. Oh, you know, these likes. And if you watch The Social Dilemma, they actually portray a girl who's, you know, put a picture of her being cute on Instagram, and a couple of girls are like, look how big her teeth are, look at her hair, that looks dumb. And then she starts feeling bad about herself. And so when you think of a 12-year-old girl in a room feeling bad about herself simply because she posted a picture on the webs, that's a dangerous thing. You know, and I've witnessed that firsthand. I've witnessed that, you know, I've witnessed anxiety and depression go up with one of my kids, because they got we let her have a social media account, and we immediately took it down. We immediately got rid of, her cell phone was phone calls only, no internet, and she went from being glued to the screen to figuring out stuff to do. She got into drawing, she got into her piano, she got into these different crafts to occupy her mind. And we had made very good progress. And then COVID hit. And yeah, I won't get into that. But yeah, social media is definitely toxic. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. I said, dude, just go 1 week without TikTok or Reels. Just that. Because I understand Facebook keeping tabs with family, right? A lot of my family has taken breaks from Facebook as well. My wife hasn't been on Facebook in over almost 2 years. And about the only thing I'm going to miss is maybe some events coming up that I might like related to my hobbies and music and stuff. But I told people in that circle, like in the music circle, to text me if something is coming up. But just getting rid of in TikTok and Reels, it's like concentrated, right? And like China's recognized like that's a bad thing. So they interrupt, and you're limited on how many hours you can do that, in their country, on their web, on their version of TikTok. And it you don't realize, and I told my friend, I said, look, go a week without it and see how much better you feel. If you don't feel better, then I was wrong. If you do feel better, now you know. It's just like the food thing. You go without sugar for a while, and then you have one cheat. Next thing you know, you're like, wow, I feel like crap. I didn't realize that. And you don't realize how toxic the food is until you take it out of your life, and then you add it back. You're like, holy crap. And I felt that with Facebook. We had a whole weekend at this resort near Branson that I did a video on, and the only signal I had was like phone call and text. I can get notifications, but I couldn't watch a YouTube video without the circle of death every 5 seconds. And Facebook, I could see a couple of posts, but not much. And at some point, it keeps repeating. And so I just put all the social media down, all of it. And then Sunday afternoon when we got home, I started looking at Facebook and stuff, and I could just feel my mood change. It was weird. It was kind of like an out of body experience kind of deal. Social media has become a cancer. If people shut it out, they might enjoy themselves a bit more, but whatever, I digress. I got off all of them for a year, but put Facebook back, and that's only, I have Facebook so I can keep up with my kids. That's good. Catch 22, yep, freight prices are high, but the truck prices are ridiculous. If you buy a truck now, you get in a lot of trouble when the freight prices go down. Everybody is giving Charles advice. I appreciate that. Pneumatic Brit makes a great point. Socializing media has always been a bad deal for people who identify as consumers. Porn, Facebook, Fox News, CNN, Cosmo, it's all doing damage. Right, and it's all the same, right? CNN is not about giving news. They're about selling clicks. They're about attention, There's plenty of footage of them admitting that half the stuff about the president was wrong. John Kirkpatrick, what's up? Six Semper Tyrannis, what's up? I was listening to a TED Talk or something the other day talking about stop living through a screen and actually start living. That is absolutely true. And that was the great thing about my hunting trip. Nobody was glued to a phone. Not one person. You know, we spent the night at our friend's house. His wife made an awesome meal. And I hung out, and there was even a Nerf gun battle. I mean, a bunch of adults and one little kid with the Nerf gun battle, right? In the house. And there was not a cell phone to be found. Nobody was documenting it. Nobody was, you know. Now, at some point, you know, it was late at night, and, you know, we were kind of like, you know, checking up on a couple things on the phone. But to spend Friday and Saturday barely on the phone was awesome. And so, of course, then I got the bad news about our friend Saturday night, and I would have known that had I'd looked at my Facebook. But you know, and my wife didn't call me to ruin my trip. She said, "Well, he'll be home Saturday night, and we'll let him know what's going on then." Don't have Facebook. I only have YouTube because I can listen while driving. There are even a lot of audiobooks on YouTube if you're interested. Yes, Dutch, that's absolutely true. It was more about not spending all your time learning and actually start making a plan in action. Right. GNC, I watched the video yesterday talking about people that get in their own way. Right? Sometimes you just got to do it. Right? And I've been guilty of that. Y'all have a blessed day. We're going to hit the road and tour some more of Tennessee. Well, be careful, Thor. Carlos says he don't care what people think, only if you write my check. There you go. Internet is cancer, social media is AIDS. That is true. Can you put up a link, that TED Talk? I want my daughter to listen to it. Fran Mariah, what's up? Facebook is for girls. Look, there's a lot of good business stuff on Facebook, and these days, if you have a business, social media is a great tool. But the other thing I will not miss from Facebook is when the rates start coming down in January, you're going to see a lot of people crying, especially on Facebook in those rate pages. There's like 3 that I follow, and they're all the same. It's amazing how many people are able to run a business in this industry that really don't have any business doing it. So when we were at deer camp, nobody's on the phone, and most of the time we don't even have service. FOMO drives social media. Spooby, absolutely. That is the biggest aspect, is fear of missing out is the biggest number one seller of everything. Hey, there's only 1,000 copies of this variant on this record. You're going to miss out. Hey, there's only a limited run of these t-shirts. You're going to miss out. Hey, there's a sale, 2-for-1 sale right now. You're going to miss out. Hey, you know what? That one person that you haven't called or talked to in 3 years might have some life event that they're going to announce on Facebook. You're going to miss out. Right? That's how that works. HT radios are the only things that work here where I hunt. There you go. I was surprised that I had a good signal. Well, I take it back, so in the morning we were in the field and we were texting each other, so we're not, we didn't have any two-way radios or anything like that. There was 3 of us out in tree stands out in this field. And we would text each other. So if we heard a shot go off, we texted. And one of our friends didn't have a signal where he was at. I had a good, decent signal, but I'm not, while I'm hunting in a tree stand, I'm not going to sit there and watch Instagram or some stupid thing like that. So, hit the thumbs up. Yes, hit the thumbs up, everybody. And it's social media it's tough for a business owner because you need to you need social media more times than not to kind of get your business out there, but it can also destroy your business. If you got a bad rep because of social media, because of things that have happened in the past, that could be an issue as well. Parents need to start intervening in their children's lives and do activities and have family time. Kids are getting less involved in school sports because of social media. So let me tell you a story, John, and that's a great point. Yes, your Jake break works. Man, that's good coffee. So there are 3 young girls at our church, about the same age. One's a couple of years older, but the other 2 are like 3 years old. And the older one and one of the 3-year-olds belongs to one gal. And the other one belongs to another gal. Okay, the third one. They're both the same age, and the one of the 3-year-olds, her mom is a younger gal. She's like in her late 20s, early 30s maybe. Those kids always have a pencil and paper in their hand. They've always got a toy in their hand. They've always got something in their hand that's not an electronic device. This girl is normal size. She's skinny. She's healthy, full of energy, very happy, very well mannered. You tell her to sit down, for her Bible class, she sits down. She listens. Now, I mean, she's 3, so she has, some attention issues. What 3-year-old doesn't? But the other 3-year-old, I think they're both 4 now. The other 4-year-old is already overweight, a horrible diet. Both parents are horribly overweight. Don't eat healthy at all. Which is strange because one of them had cancer. One of the parents had cancer. And they're in remission now. That girl won't stay still to save her life. No manners. Doesn't know how to listen. Can barely speak. And you know what she has in her hand? One of these. All the time. Not crayons, not pencils, not I mean, she'll have toys, but this, and there's always a video playing. Some cartoon, you can download YouTube for kids. You can download that. It's a safe place for your kids. YouTube for kids, it's safe. And you look at the uptick of ADHD, depression, anxiety, mental issues. Look at any compilation, and it's not just kids, it's the adults as well. You look at the compilations of Karens. Look up Karen compilation and tell me that people haven't lost their minds, that people don't have mental illness, old and young. And that's driven by social media. That's driven by electronic devices. That's driven by not going out there and doing something with your life. Because if you're content, you're not going to act like these Karens. If you're content, you're not going to do horrible things. Social media is the one element that a lot of these dystopian films did not predict, other than maybe Fahrenheit 451. But yeah, it's not good, man. Did anyone see that the FCC okayed AM and FM CAN radios and trucks, or is that old news? I have no idea. My grandson missed a good shot on a monster buck because he was on the cell phone. Wow. There's some hunting map apps that are worth using precincts and scouting. I, in that sense, yeah, but and I did look. I did take a picture. I didn't post it right away, but I did take a picture of my view from the tree stand. I did put that on, but I didn't upload that till later. CB radio, AM, FM, CB radios and trucksters. I don't know about FCC okay in that. I don't. I'm not up to snuff on that. Um, but I do know that they stopped really, like if you got a 10-meter radio in your truck, they really don't care anymore. So Jesse, what's up? Better late than never. Pigtail is in the house. Rick LP, what are your thoughts on the Omicron variant? Should we be worried? I don't know. Depends on what news source you're listening to. One news source says it's something to worry about. Another news source says it's not. As far as me, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I have no idea. So I do know that I'm still careful. I wash my hands quite a bit. I try to keep my distance from people, especially if I see them sniffling. But for the most part, I don't know. So you'll be in Springfield today, of course. When I'm not, well, I'll be in Springfield tonight. There, Pigtail. So if you end up spending the night in Springfield, let me know. Let's see. It's worth studying ham, even if you got no intention of getting a license. Tyrannus, I've been thinking about that. And what's interesting, just by me saying I've been kind of like somewhat interested in that, I get Facebook ads for ham radio stuff. So I would like to get in that because I like having a CB. I like talking on the CB. Um, the CB has saved my butt more times than GPS, more times than weather radios. It has saved my butt a lot, and there's like maybe 2 cities that I'll actually shut it off. One of them is in Jersey. And when was the last time I was at Jersey? A long time ago. It takes a lot for me to actually turn off the CB radio, so I'll turn it down. But once I hear a lot of chatter, I'll look up and turn it up and see what's going on. Interviewed the doctor that reported the first Omicron. She said symptoms in all her cases are very mild. What I do know is I watched a guy. Hold on. Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Good.
And, question for you.
Sure.
Dealing with when you're driving your truck. You got stick shift, right?
Yeah.
When you're running to the 55-mile-an-hour, thereabouts, you normally just keep the ninth gear.
All right, we're back. There's a very interesting video. It's an episode of 60 Minutes from 1976 about the swine flu. Seek that out. That's all I'm going to say about that. Start out with the cheap Baofeng or Wushan handheld to get familiar with. Eric, what's up? All I know is we should be worried, right? You should get up so we can watch the seat. Whatever you do, don't jump the head first in the 500. I wouldn't do that. Hunting is relaxing. Get outside, the quiet nature. Even if you don't get anything, it's a great time to resetting yourself from having a stressful week or things going through your head. Hunting, great. I agree. That's what's good about outdoors, hunting and fishing. Nothing when you start over. I missed a notification. Yeah, YouTube's shadow banning me, I guess. So my notifications have been kind of bad here lately. I watch Brighton TV, and they break down how these variants, you can't even see or prove work. Very interesting. No mainstream does that. They just promote fear. That's absolutely true. And it's affecting the stock market, too. Every day for the last 3 days, I've been getting financial news about how the variant is affecting stock prices here and stock prices there. I think it's just a manipulation tool. And you know, get in the duck blind today. Peace. Just been overloaded. Was supposed to have 3,000 gallons, but loader has put 5,000 gallons on. He just realized he was shouting fudge an awful lot. Jeez. Fear will keep you broke, sick, and disgusted. Absolutely, Fran. Hey, Steve, greetings from the doctor's office. Thomas, I hope you do well with your physical. Well, I had the notification. I just didn't hear the phone, so start over. No. Stock markets are crazy recently. Yeah, they're all over the place. I noticed Shiba's gone up a little bit. I kept getting notifications last time, like, yeah, that needs to go back up so I can at least get my money back, bastards. Just bought 5K worth of Saitama. They're going to have their own wallet soon. $5,000? Wow. You got some serious money, dude. But what do you expect from someone named Beast Mode, right? I imagine that's how you approach life. Beast Mode. Cussing is no big deal. Fishing is fundamental survival skill everyone should be taught. I agree. Gary Vee is awesome. And look, that's why I wanted to learn to hunt. I wanted to learn how to field dress a deer. I wanted to learn that. I wanted to learn those skills. And the funny part is I actually enjoyed it. So gutting and all. So that was a nice surprise. Because 20 years ago, I said that in my post from the deer stand. I was like, 20 years ago, if you would have said I would have been this dude out in the woods in the tree stand, I would have been like, what's wrong with you? Because I was not outdoorsy. I used to go fishing with my dad all the time. But I got kind of burned out on it, you know? And now I miss it, you know? Big Rig CEO and I went out on his boat once this past summer, and I wish I had a boat, but I'm not willing to spend the money and deal with the maintenance of a boat. So, but we need more fishing in our lives. You know, we need our kids to experience that feeling. You know, I say kids. One's 20 and the other one's 17. Michigan beat Ohio State over the weekend. There is a God for such a year for Ohio State. I think if more young people would learn to fish and hunt, they're less likely to get in trouble. Charles, and here's the thing. So when you take your hunter's safety course, you learn a lot. And so these anti-hunting people, they don't realize how important it is to conservation. They don't realize how well it's all balanced out, right? And so they encourage you to promote education, but they also discourage you from like, hey, look at this deer, I got on online, because all they see is dead animal. They want you to be respectful when you're. They don't want it on the hood of your car like the old days. They want it in the back of a pickup covered up. And because people just don't understand. Well, why don't people understand about something? Because they're uneducated. Alec Baldwin was uneducated, which is why, number one, he was an anti-gun nut, and number two, why he killed somebody with a gun, because he was uneducated. Knowing how to cape your own deer. Saitama will be huge. I've heard that one before. Fishing bored the living daylights out of me, not my hobby. I'm going to learn that gunning deers, I gotta have a lot of them on my land. They say you kill 4, you feed you all year long. That is true. It's basically ecological and land management in the bigger picture. It is. Nick G, what's up? My father used to train dogs until the game warden caught him. No more rabbits for him. I grew up deer hunting every season. Glad there was no internet back then. Absolutely, Spooby. Just got a new hobby, scuba diving. Truck driver, that's awesome. I think Mark State, he does that. I don't mind swimming, but to have 20 feet of water above my head, I don't know if I'd sit well with that. Oh, wait. It's right here. I don't know if I'd sit well with that. Might have to make another pot if I sit here too long. My pickup's not till 4, and I know they'll load me a couple hours early, so I'll probably leave here about, 11ish. I might walk. There's a pawn shop across the street. They got a lovely selection of instruments and tools that I could probably spend a lot of money in there if I had it. I don't have a lot of money, so if I want to play Frogger, I can be entertained for a little bit. Just be sure to take all the silver skin off the deer meat before you cook and eat it. It's a lot better. Alec Baldwin, you haven't heard about that, friend? It was on the set of a movie. Like, just do some Googling. You'll see all kinds of reports about it. I've been down to 125 feet for a shipwreck in Key Largo. That was an awesome dive. 2017 Cascadia is now $120,000 here in Pennsylvania. What? Sean, you hurt my head, dude. How much? How many miles? How many miles on those 17s? I have to give I-15 Rage some credit. He talked about he wouldn't feel right about price gouging, selling his truck to an individual. And we need more people like that. The dealerships are having no problem doing that. And now, and I kind of feel the same way. I could probably sell my truck for 90 grand. Amazing as that is, but I don't think I would feel right about it. Now, would I sell it back to MHC Kenworth for 90 grand? Hell yeah, because, dealerships are evil bastards. But that is the slow destruction of small business. There's so many destructions of small businesses across the board, and that's how you kill small businesses, is you price them out of the market. I watched a really good show. I'm on the third episode, the third and final episode of this 3-part series about the mafia in New York City back in the early 70s. And it was eye-opening on how much of industry that they controlled in New York City. I mean, look at Manhattan was practically built by the mafia. It was really interesting, and they would, they would become the only game in town, and you couldn't start a small business without paying them, and they basically monopolized by force. Nowadays all you got to do is price people out. You know what? Hey, you want to get your own authority? Okay, sure, you do that. You've got the freedom to do that, but the truck's going to cost you $200,000. The insurance is going to cost you $60,000, and your trailer's going to cost you another $100,000. But yeah, go right ahead. Oh, by the way, the rates aren't going to last long enough to sustain that. But guess what? Schneider, Swift, Werner, they're all going to continue going. JB Hunt, they're all going to continue that course because they're not paying those prices. Static or stalking is the only way I hunt. Well, I don't have heated Everblades there, Dutch. Dogs are good for squirrel and coon hunting, though. Well, the vegetarians kill bugs to grow soybeans for the tofu, so them chemicals to grow their beans, where venison is all natural, no growth hormones. It's crazy critique hunting. It is. I don't watch TV or be on social media much. Celebrities, I definitely don't keep up with them. Well, a lot of because Alec Baldwin was so anti-Second Amendment. I mean, you go back to his old tweets, and you can just see he wants everybody to not have a gun. And, he was on a movie set, and he trusted the person. He didn't know anything about the firearm, trusted the person they handed it to him, said it was clear, and it wasn't. And the scene didn't even involve, there was no reason for it to begin with. And, him and Liam Neeson, I used to enjoy Liam Neeson as an actor. But he did two things that really kind of rubbed me wrong. Number one, he did that stupid Kenworth movie on Netflix called Ice Roads. That was one of the most horrific movies I've ever seen in my life. He did that, so that was his second strike. But his first strike was when he's anti-Second Amendment, but yet 99% of his movies are shoot 'em up. I'm a guy pissed off at the world, so I'm going to grab my guns and get things done. You're a hypocrite. You're promoting bad use of guns and then sit there and tell us that there's a gun epidemic? Stupid. Hypocrites. And then that trucker movie just kind of finished the deal. It's like Liam Neeson can go jump off a lake. I don't care. Well, the mafia does it legally now. They're just in units like the Triple K are now politicians. They wear suits now. I won't get into that. Let's just say that we have this illusion of freedom here. We have this illusion of that things are right sometimes, and you show me a politician that's not crooked, I'll show you someone that's a good liar. That's just my 2 cents, though. Chronic waste and disease can decimate entire regions of deer populations if left unchecked. Too much competition for food, starving wildlife is the saddest thing you'll ever see. And yeah, I learned a lot about that in the conservation class. And my son, his last year in high school, he took a conservation class. So you still have remote areas where they still teach that. Um, that's why the Boy Scouts going woke was such a sad thing, because they don't concentrate on that kind of stuff anymore. You know, they're more worried about being politically correct than teaching boys to become men and having survival skills, which was the purpose, right? But we can't dwell on the negative, right? And that's what social media is going to do. It's going to make you dwell on things that you fear. You know, it's going it markets off your emotion, right? You know, like, I'm pro Second Amendment. I need to tell the world. So you put up these pro 2A posts, and you buy the pro 2A t-shirts, and you put the pro 2A stickers on the back of your pickup. And all that does is tell the people that, wow, that guy's probably got a gun on him. Wow, that guy might have a gun hidden in his vehicle, so I can break the window and steal it. And wow, I can sell t-shirts to this guy for years. I'll make a lot of money off this person. That's how social media works, right? And there's a part of the human brain that says we need to shout to the world our beliefs. We need to shout our thoughts. Like, I took a picture of a sunrise this morning, then I remembered, hey, you're doing a social media fast. I'm like, oh, I'll use it for a thumbnail for my YouTube. It's a difficult world we live in. Don't make it more difficult on yourself. Physical health and mental health are equally important. You could be the most physically fit person, but if you're psychotic and can't cope with reality, that ain't going to do you any good. And you could be the most mentally fit person in the world, but if your health is crap, that doesn't do you any good either. You got to find the path to both. I have not seen Jacoby. I have not seen Yellowstone. That's why I'm on no social media and why I only watch and comment on certain channels. Diapers and politicians should be changed often for the same reason. Spooby, I like that. Cheers to you, my friend, Spooby. Spooby, you should get my number sometime. Since I'm not on Zello very much. I still have it on my phone, but I haven't signed in. Maybe I'll get on Zello a little bit more, but like I said, I've just been trying to reset my mind. The hunting trip was good. It definitely kind of started me in the right direction. You know, December is the most stressful time of year for most people. You have the holidays, you know, so depression goes up, anxiety goes up, and then, you know, you got the news throwing all these variants and stock prices and violence. You know, what happened in Waukesha at the Christmas parade was a horrible tragedy, and it was a terroristic event, but they're not going to tell you that. The person that did it had a rap music video out. The guy was an artist. And right there you can tell. I mean, the vehicle that was used is in the freaking video. But, you know, that video got taken down. I don't know if it still exists somewhere else, if it's popped up somewhere else. But YouTube now has a deal where you can't see. Let me do a close up here. You can't see the dislikes anymore. Now they're doing it to protect. They're doing it to protect you. Yet me as the creator can still see my thumbs down. So let's say you do a video like, okay, I'll give you an example. So when I had to trap a raccoon, I wanted to see how it was done. What's the best way? What are the best methods? So I get on YouTube, because that's what we do, and I find a couple of videos. There's one video, it has 1,000 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down. That told me that maybe this might be a good video. And so I watch it, I read the comments. I think this is good information. I've made that determination. I go to the next video. There's 1,000 thumbs up, 2,000 thumbs down, and the comments were horrible. And I got through the first 3 minutes of the video and realized this is not a good video. So the thumbs down can be a tool. And YouTube has taken that away to protect you, to protect you, to protect you from being sad. We are living in Fahrenheit 451 in 1984. That is here. That is now. Your freedom of speech exists only the way they want it to exist. Your free speech is a tool that they will use against you. Because if they want your business to go under, all they got to do is let the people speak their untruths on the social media and take your business down simply because they don't like you. But they're free to speak it, right? So every amendment to the Constitution can be used against you. It could be used as a tool against you. So you just gotta figure out the right balance. No one knows how to be balanced anymore. But we do not have freedom of speech. We have the illusion of freedom of speech. Did you hear about the new dude running Twitter? No. When was the last time you saw a gun rack in the back of a truck? It's been a while. Yeah. Well, I mean, so you go to the old school, right? So old school pickups didn't have back seats. Okay. Very rarely did you have a 4-door king cab pickup. And so if you went hunting, that was the only place you could put that gun, right? But you know, back in the day, if you lived in a small town, you know, teenagers would go to school with gun racks in the back, in on that rack, right? So with the guns on the rack, right? And so nowadays, I wouldn't do that simply for theft. And so it's kind of irresponsible to put a gun on display in your pickup, because that makes you a target for thieves, and a thief with a gun is a bad thing. So I remember those days, but I don't think that in today's world that's a good idea. According to America, it's not terrorism if you don't wear a turban. Us as society, thank you, Chucky, for giving me a tongue twister, is too worried about the global national masses and overlooking the important thing of your individual family life. Perfect example is all over the place. Stop noticing things, Snorelord. I don't know. My eyes are open. Sometimes it's a curse. Sometimes it's a blessing. He says they're going to focus less on free speech and more on reducing harm. Well, YouTube's already doing that. They've already been doing that. They just are just now admitting that, in my opinion. Every time I see the word obey on the highway, I think of the book 1984. Family values are being lost and we need them back. Family values... That's the nuclear family. somewhere somebody decided that wasn't a good thing. And we've been going to crap ever since. I don't know how Twitter can focus less on free speech than they already do. Kind of scary to think that they're just now actively trying. No, they're just actively admitting it. They've been doing it for a long time. The minute you ban the leader of the free world from your platform, that's a problem. That should have been the first clue that social media is not on your side if you haven't taken any of the other clues, right? I had to read 1984 in high school. I tried reading it again a few years ago. I had to put it down after 50 pages. Go watch the movie, Mr. Bill. That's all you need to do. There's one from the 50s, and then there was one actually in 1984. I have not watched that one. You click the thumb down to check. Didn't know that. I use my truck bed toolbox for my rifles. That's a good idea, Rick. Not true, Snorelord. That is only true if you let them control your speech and you believe social media is the only way to have a voice. Here's what I mean by illusion of freedom. So if I stand on the corner of this street and I use the N-word, okay? Common sense would say, well, Steve, you're going to get beaten up. Or if I use any kind of racist slang, right? But then what someone can do is they can put that on social media, put my name out there, use free speech, put my name out there, put the name of my business, the address of my home, and literally destroy my life, right? So is that freedom of speech? Now, I'm not racist, okay? And I wouldn't do something that stupid anyways. But you have people that have turned peaceful protest into violence. So that makes it easier to crack down on protest, don't it? Everything that doesn't make sense happens for a reason. There is a reason it doesn't make sense, and it's a deeper reason than you could see. So you have a bunch of people that bought guns in the last year that are probably not educated. What kind of trouble is that going to cause? One of the elements of 1984 is there's a camera everywhere. You can't do anything without a camera. We're already living in that. So do you have freedom of movement? If I do something that looks sketchy, yet might have been innocent, I can be blasted on the internet just like if I was out here holding up racist signs. They're using laws to take away common sense. They're limiting knowledge to take away common sense. They want to regulate your common sense. That's it. And they use the freedom of speech to do that. But yet you don't really have that freedom. It's an illusion of freedom. I just nipped myself a few weeks ago. Ain't no way I'm having kids in this day and age. Now I like the book better. Animal Farm reminds me of Democrats treating black people as stupid people. I'm not racist, I'm not black, but that's what the book reminds me of. 1984, the 50s movie is okay, but not a substitute for the movie. It does pretty good with the government surveillance plot, but it really glosses over the newspeak and thought control aspects. You have to look at the YouTubers also. They will block you if they don't agree with what you say, so no freedom of speech there. That's an issue with FCC ham licensing with call signs in the day of the internet. Your call sign is searchable: name, address, license number. Heard that somebody tried to burn down this guy Truck's house or something like that because he was in a YouTube fight with another YouTuber. Dutch, I don't know anything about that. I do know that Pale Rider was swatted, and he doesn't do anything with anybody. Doing a personal physical. Well, I hope you're all right, Thomas. I hope you're doing okay. Your health is important to me, Thomas. Your health is important to you as well. I meant the movie isn't a substitute for the book. Typo. Well, for people that don't want to read, it might be. I'll have to rent the other 1984 to see if it's any good. And I've seen clips of it. It's not too bad, but anyways, I think we've said too much. So we're going to end this feed. I got to catch up a little bit of my your siang for a cup of coffee. Your spelling definitely has trouble when you don't have any coffee. Having the fast, yeah, that sucks. Did they find out who swatted him? I remember putting out the calls on YouTube. There are rumors of who it is, but we can't confirm it. I have my suspicions, and they're not the people that you think. If it is who I think it is, then that person, obviously is an evil person. But I'll just leave it at that. But no, it's a low priority, right? Nothing. Now, if Pale Rider was killed during that swatting incident, then yeah, they would know exactly who it is. But they're not going to use those resources. I mean, they could track any call, pretty much. So, and if you listen to the caller, they're really good at making voices, or they have a New York or Northeast, not New York, but they have a Northeast accent. So. Diesel fan, I remember Coach got swatted. It was hilarious. Yeah, but that could have ended badly. And then the person that did it admitted that. That's not the same person that did this Pale Rider thing. Every day above ground is a good one. Have an analog holiday season. I like that. All right, guys. We're going to end this feed. I'll probably just send the replay to the members, because we talked about stuff that's going to get me shadow banned because there's no freedom of speech. So anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a good and blessed day. I hope you're profitable if you're in business, and I hope that you're making money either way. And I hope that all is well in your world. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Peace out.